My name is Brianna Banks, and I will be presenting my program evaluation for the Freedom Writers Teachers Program. The Freedom Writers Foundation is based on the work and story of Erin Gruwell and the 150 unteachable students she inspired to graduate from Woodrow Wilson High School in Los Angeles, California. The Freedom Writers Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1997. The foundation makes a difference by decreasing high school dropout rates and increasing college participation through the replication of the Freedom Writers methodology of instruction. The methodology is currently being replicated through the work of over 300 educators and youth interventionists spread across the entire United States and 8 global locations, including New Zealand, the Philippines, Taiwan, Rwanda, Uruguay, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and India. Here are a few crystallizing events in the formation of the Freedom Writers Foundation. In 1994, the LA riots in the aftermath of the Rodney King beating and trial served as a catalyst to highlight prevalent racial unrest of the times. Erin Gruwell saw that the students at her school segregated themselves by race and hated one another. School was a mirror of what was going on in the larger society. Ms. Gruwell created awareness of the students' attitude through engagement with books written by teenagers such as Anne Frank that made the hate relatable. She believed that if they could relate to a Jewish girl that lives 50 years ago in Germany, then perhaps they could relate to one another. An eventful visit from Mip Gees, the woman who hid Anne Frank, inspired them to chronicle their lives. So they started writing anonymous journal entries about everyday struggles and adversities in their own lives, such as gangs, immigration, drugs, violence, death, anorexia, dyslexia, teenage love, self-image issues, divorce, suicide, and a slew of other issues that seemed to present an undeclared war on the students. The students fancied themselves as liberators of sorts, and after learning about the Freedom Riders who fought against segregation during the Civil Rights Movement, they named themselves the Freedom Writers and made intolerance the object of their fight. Their entries have since been published in a book, The Freedom Writers' Diary, which later became a movie. The Freedom Writers Foundation website states that their mission is to empower educators and students to positively impact their own lives and world around them. The graphic shown here gives a preview of the goals, which will be explained in further detail on the next slide. The organization's goals are to train educators to teach every student through challenging, relevant, and project-driven activities, award scholarships to first-generation high school graduates, develop challenging, high-interest curriculum, lead empowering training seminars, student assemblies, classroom discussions, and professional development in services through our Freedom Writers Outreach Program. The objectives are to create opportunities for students to reach their full academic potential and aspire to higher education, publicly and systematically promote an educational philosophy that values, upholds, and honors diversity, inspire students to realize their roles as vital members of their communities. The Freedom Writers Foundation houses 3 programs that help satisfy the objectives of the foundation. The first is the Freedom Writers Outreach Program, which uses live events and video chats to extend the reach of the methodology and offer shared experiences. The outreach group is comprised completely of members of Erin Gruwell's original 150 unteachable students who all completed high school. Many of those original students are now educators, national motivational speakers, authors, and community advocates. Next, the Freedom Writers Scholars Program gives money to at-risk college youth. Previous recipients have also included incarcerated youth returning to their communities to become contributing members of society. The foundation has given out about 80 scholarships since its establishment in the early 2000s. Lastly, but most important, is the Freedom Writers Teachers Program, which I will be evaluating. Through the Freedom Writers Teachers Institute, they are trained in the Freedom Writers methodology and sent back into their communities as directors and facilitators of their own individual programs to replicate Erin Gruwell's original approach to engage, enlighten, and empower students and teachers in educational transformations. Shown here is an organizational chart of the organization. First, I have Erin Gruwell listed as the founder. She also sits on the board of directors, which is below, and next to the board of directors is the directors of emeritus, who are the staff who were once on the board and are still involved with the organization. However, they don't sit on the board anymore. Under these categories, I have the Freedom Riders teachers and the outreach group, who is made of the original Freedom Riders. Lastly, I list the students. Now that you have a bit of background for the foundation, I will begin the program evaluation for the Freedom Riders Teachers Program. Essentially, the Teachers Program is at the heart of the foundation. Erin Gruwell developed this unofficial methodology and saw that it worked. She then worked with the students and other educators to create this official Freedom Riders curriculum. I will be evaluating the program's local branch in Fort Worth, Texas at Arlington Heights High School, where Sefakor Alma is the current director. The photo shows Sefakor Alma with her class at Dunbar Middle School in Fort Worth, Texas in 2008. The problems and needs addressed by the program are academic challenges, the loss or lack of interest, behavioral challenges, acting act, defiance and disrespect, intolerance, lack of respect for differences, and cultural dissonance, cultural clash, as well as student-faculty apathy, the endless progressions of no progression. The participants of the program include registered high school students ages 14 through 19, students served by traditional and non-traditional disciplinary processes in educational institutions, and some of these students are under state or juvenile supervision. The goals and objectives of the Teachers Program are to integrate students back into the education system by using non-traditional methodology to engage, enlighten, and empower the students as actors in their own lives, to increase global acceptance of students, embrace differences, and level the playing field to allow more students to become more successful, and replicate the methodology and standardize, validate acceptance as an educational model. How do the goals and objectives work to satisfy the objectives of the organization? The goals and objectives of the Teachers Program correlate with those of the Freedom Riders Foundation by the support found in various strands of the educational model. In replicating success of the Freedom Riders model, the Freedom Riders Teachers Program aims to systemically promote the goals and objectives of the foundation by having a positive impact on the students and a proven track record. The curriculum is challenging and high interest, and the students graduate from the program equipped to make a difference. Here I have provided a logic model. The inputs to the organization are private funding, state grants, community resources, high-profile mentors, the Freedom Riders Diary, the Freedom Riders Teacher's Guide, the Diary of Anne Frank, sponsors, and school district support. Program activities include the study of the curriculum of the Holocaust, conferences and workshops, poetry slams, or creative opportunities to showcase talent, online writers showcase, scholarship competitions, and community service. And the project participants are registered middle school and high school students in the district, students in the juvenile facility, and children of migrant workers. These are all outputs of the program. A few of the short-term outcomes are knowledge gained, behavioral change, personal empowerment, enhanced family dynamics, reduced recidivism of disciplinary referrals, increased multicultural awareness and tolerance. And then some of the long-term outcomes include student achievement, disaster aid relief, community beautification, decreased juvenile delinquency and truancy, change family trajectory, and realization of personal goals. I conducted an interview with Sefakor Alma, Master of Education at Arlington Heights High School on November 3rd, 2014 at 4 o'clock p.m. She is the Executive Director and Facilitator of the On-Campus Intervention Program at Arlington Heights, where the Freedom Riders methodology has been put forth. What are the problems and needs addressed by the program? The problems and needs of the program are distinct. On one hand, the students presented for enrollment into my program are seen as problem students with behavior issues that need to be fixed. However, another perspective begs to highlight the needs of our educational system to expand to accommodate varying learning styles, lifestyles, and cultural ways of being. In today's institutions of learning, we are seeing a widening gulf from center to the margins. More than ever, our kids are being bullied, labeled, silenced, and otherwise driven from the thresholds of success, and not always by other kids. Many of the students that are assigned to my program and those of other Freedom Riders teachers are students of color or the poor and the disenfranchised. Most disciplinary actions I see are discretionary, meaning they are mostly made on the judgment call of someone in authority, someone very culturally and ethnically different from the student. Most of the time, that is because of a culture clash and the intolerance on the part of the mainstream educators. They don't seek to understand the culture of the students, and they impose their values on the students, therefore devaluing them. So we say tolerance, but we really mean embracing differences and appreciating differences. What are the specific goals for the program? We want to integrate as many kids as possible back into the education system. At the same time, our goal is to increase global acceptance of students. We do so through Socratic seminars, mixed media, Skype sessions with the original Freedom Riders, field trips, book lists, and sometimes it just includes get in your face, we're going to deal with this issue. What are the specific objectives for the program? One is to reduce repeat offenders of discipline actions in the school. I, on a personal level, try to increase the holistic value of a person's perceptions of themselves. And somewhere in there, I strive to make school fun. It should be fun. And actually being a part of this global process of teaching the world about the Holocaust, we're fulfilling the promise of never again. By telling it and repeating the story, we, in essence, pray and hope that genocide is reduced and that we do not live through another Holocaust. How is the program linked with other community efforts? Well, first off, I have partnerships in the district. The Fort Worth After School program allows me to extend into field trips, workshops, parents' cafe, and so forth. The most recent was a couponing class that addressed a particular need of the community, which was saving money. We also have a partnership with Jostens, who supplied us with the Year of High School Retention materials and a college readiness program. We've been in partnership with Central Market across the street, who extends food and bags of groceries to our students and parents. We take trips to the Holocaust Museum of Dallas. The National Freedom Riders Foundation supplies us with speakers and students who actually lived the experience. We have a national symposium twice a year, and Aaron brings in amazing speakers. We visit Paramount Studios and meet with Common and other stars from the Freedom Riders movie. Paramount Studios was a key partner when the movie came out by supplying us with tickets for our communities to hold events and attend screenings. On what basis do participants or staff decide what services are needed? We complete a holistic assessment where we look at their academics, behavior, and a 12 to 36-month history. What activities take place in the program? Academic instruction, goal setting, character building, student empowerment activities, field trips, journal writing, group therapy sessions, external counseling referrals, and other intervention strategies as necessary. Who is in charge of implementing the activities in the program? What is required of staff in order for staff to deliver services? How are staff trained to deliver services? I am in charge of implementing the activities on this campus. This is the job of the program site director. Each site has 2 intervention specialists who are social workers that meet daily with the students for assessment of external counseling needs and other referrals. How do participants come into the program? Students are referred by school administrators probation or parole officers, and services are frequently requested by parents. Occasionally, we will have interagency referrals. What is required of participants once they enter the program? There is an established set of rules that must be followed. Students are required to show daily progress on a point system. Points can be earned through personal accomplishments, academic achievements, and adherence to program guidelines. The participants must show adherence to dress code, language modification, participation in group therapy, and essentially, progression towards goals. They are also required to complete community service. What do participants and/or staff consider the strengths of the program to be? Well, the program decreases the need for referral to alternative education facilities. It eliminates repeat offenses, provides ongoing mentoring and transitional support, exposes students to cultural differences and appreciation of those differences, offers extensive experience to staff to garner trust and respect with their students. National peer group structure allows educators to compare program results and trends, and creates a national database of intervention methodology and practices that are effective with diverse populations. What typical complaints are heard by staff from participants about the program? Initially, they may view the program as strict and the staff as firm, but by program end, students are wanting to stay permanently because many experience success for the first time. On what basis do the participants and staff decide that services are no longer needed? Students normally graduate or exit the program through achievement of goals and realization of target behaviors. Infrequently, some are mandated to more strict discipline facilities. On many occasions, students have returned as volunteers and mentors upon stabilizing their own lives with college, internships, jobs, and other endeavors. What do participants and staff recommend to improve the program or services? We need a more broad-based acceptance of all intervention strategies, increased nonprofit funding, widespread acceptance into traditional education settings, being more school districts and standard classrooms in all these districts, increased sponsorship to teach more students the Freedom Riders methodology, and empowerment of others as autonomous teacher leaders. The program evaluation was a wonderful learning experience. I would recommend the implementation of the Freedom Riders methodology through the teachers program to all high schools with at-risk youth. It is a wonderful alternative to harsh intervention strategies. The Freedom Riders Foundation is an amazing organization with clear, concise, and realistic goals. The educators are dedicated, informed, and equipped catalysts for change. Implementation of the program appears seamless and effective. This program works because of quotes like this from the program directors. They don't seek to understand the culture of the students, and they impose their values on the students, therefore devaluing them. So we say tolerance, but we really mean embracing differences and appreciating differences. The program should broaden the scope of fundraising efforts to supply more schools with Freedom Riders methodology. In terms of organizational structure, the Freedom Riders Foundation may want to consider regional centers based on geographical location to facilitate the flow of communication and better use of strategies and resources. This is in response to the nature of educational challenges to be regionalized based on local culture, legislature, and economic structures. To support sustainability, the program has to expand beyond its charismatic nature of leadership and be more responsive to measurable achievements, particularly in this test-driven educational climate. The program focuses directly on producing leaders because empowering students is a proven method for success. However, realistically, more measurable data is necessary for funding. I have come to these conclusions based on my observations of the program. Thank you.